Saints Row Gat Out of Hell wasn't just a bad expansion, it was the final nail in the coffin for the entire franchise. But here's the real question. Why does this game even exist? Saints Row 4 already had a definitive ending. The universe was reset, the story was over, and there was nowhere left to go. So why did Volition follow it up with a rushed, standalone release that felt completely unnecessary? The answer isn't as simple as a quick cash grab. It involves publisher pressure, a franchise identity crisis, and a studio that was running out of time. I'm Tony from Deep Dive Gaming, and today we're uncovering the real reason why Gat Out of Hell failed. Gat Out of Hell takes place after the ending of Saints Row 4. During a party on the Saints ship, a Ouija board opens a portal to hell, and the devil kidnaps the boss so he can marry his daughter Jezebel. Johnny Gat and Kenzie follow him into hell to rescue the boss, and that's the entire setup for the story. The biggest issue with Gat Out of Hell's story is that nothing develops. Gat doesn't change, Kenzie doesn't change, even the devil barely matters. To rescue the boss, Gat and Kenzie need to get the devil's attention by causing chaos in hell. And instead of actual missions, the game makes you replay the same activities over and over to fill a progression meter. As a result, the entire game has maybe 5 cutscenes in total, including the opening and the ending one. The story for this expansion barely exists. The allies you recruit in hell are another wasted opportunity. 2 of them are Viola and Kiki, returning characters from earlier games, but the rest are entirely new and completely forgettable. Outside of their introduction missions, they do nothing. There's no character development, no meaningful interaction, and no payoff. This is especially disappointing because the game teases a better story. After completing districts, you get brief storybook style cinematics that familiar villains like Shogo and Killbane rise up in hell to fight your allies, with your allies eventually defeating them. That should have been the story of Gat Out of Hell. Imagine if the game actually let you fight this war. That is the story players deserved. Instead, we got a checklist. The entire expansion feels half-baked, and all of that grinding leads up to one of the most baffling finales in the entire franchise. Eventually, after hours of recycled activities, Gat confronts the devil, and the finale is incredibly underwhelming. Gat beats him easily, the devil gives up, everyone leaves, except for Gat because he gets a quick introduction to God, who grants him a wish. The player can choose to reunite with Aisha in heaven, become the king of hell, gain infinite knowledge, find a new home for humanity, or retcon the entire Saints Row timeline. Yes, the game literally uses the word retcon. This is technically the canon ending because it leads into what was supposed to come next. And that is the real reason why this expansion exists in the first place. Despite taking place in hell, the map is just Steelport with a red filter. Enemies behave almost identically to Zinniac's aliens, buildings are reused, activities like insurance fraud and mayhem and flying challenges are copied straight from Saints Row 4. Even the combat feels recycled. The weapons are unremarkable, the Halo powers are just reskinned versions of abilities you had in Saints Row 4. The entire game is just a lazy reskin, and it's impossible to ignore. Since Saints Row the Third, the franchise had no idea what it wanted to be. Saints Row 2 was grounded chaos, Saints Row 3 leaned into more absurdity, Saints Row 4 became a full superhero simulator. Gat Out of Hell doesn't evolve the franchise. It just spins its reels in the mud. It doesn't reset the tone, it doesn't move the story forward, it doesn't attract new players. And that's because it was never meant to. In 2012, THQ, the original publishers of Saints Row, went bankrupt. During the bankruptcy auction, Deep Silver acquired the Saints Row IP. Instead of funding a risky full sequel, the safer move was a smaller, cheaper release built on existing assets. That release was Gat Out of Hell. From 2013 to 2015, Volition hadn't shipped a new game. This standalone expansion was likely meant to prove that the studio could still deliver, keep the Saints Row IP visible, and set up their next project. That next project was Agents of Mayhem. The retcon ending directly creates the alternate universe that Agents of Mayhem takes place in. Gat Out of Hell wasn't made because fans wanted it, it was made to bridge the gap to something else. Gat Out of Hell isn't just disappointing, it's underwhelming. There was a good idea here. With a stronger story, better pacing, and actual innovation, this could have been a fun side expansion. Instead, publisher pressure and rushed development to get the game out before the Agents of Mayhem announcement turned it into one of the weakest entries in the original Saints Row franchise. It didn't save the series, it didn't move it forward, it just proved that Saints Row had finally run out of ideas. But what do you guys think of this expansion? Hit that subscribe button for more deep dives like this and help me reach my goal of 100 subscribers. Thanks for watching.